So, welcome. So this video was inspired by my true love, who I've just been speaking to, and I come with a new idea for another life coaching video, and that is, are you a control freak, and is it a good thing to be a control freak? Well, there was a time when when I would be very much a control freak, where I'm very particular about like my stuff. I hate my stuff being touched or put somewhere not being told. It's just something that really makes me feel very disorientated, and I like to have control of my stuff, and so I'm very possessive when it comes to the things that I have. I don't know if that is really being a control freak, or if that's kind of like an insecurity as such. It's just that, I'm not being said here. I'm the sort of person who has if I went into somebody's house and they said, "Oh, help yourself," I wouldn't start putting my feet up on the table, or nicking people I didn't know's houses, food out the fridge, or I believe that it's their house, and you should be respectful and wait until you're offered, and I suppose it's probably because of the way I've been brought up. I've been brought up to, I was saying that when I was a kid, that you should what's that saying? Wait until you're offered. That's a saying. And so I would feel very embarrassed to ask if I could have a crisp, or if I could have a sweet, and then there was kids who didn't care about that, if they saw me chewing gum, they'd be like, "Oh, can I have a chewing gum?" And that sort of thing. But I kind of have, I would say in the last 6 years, really, got into a place now where I don't want to be a control freak, really. I want to be, I like the fact that my work is my own, and I'm very proud of what I've created and the things that I've achieved in my life. And they were, and that was from great teachers and great, having good, positive people in my life. But, and you're always going to get negative people, unfortunately. But, do I see myself as somebody that has to control everything? No, because I've seen the other side of somebody who wants to control everything, and it comes to the point where I just want to run away from them, because I can't stand control freaks, so I don't see myself as a control freak. I saw myself going down that path at one point, but as soon as I feel like the worst side of me is coming out, I will, weigh myself in and say, right, this has got to change, because this is not benefiting me, this is not making me feel good. I need to either take action and move on, or deal with the situation face on. And I don't think that's being a control freak. I think it's there's a difference between being in charge and controlling. When you're in charge of something, you have a say over what's included, like my blogs, what I do in each day, but I'm soon gonna be with somebody who loves me out in the world and gonna be helping me with that, because you know, sometimes I do feel like I'm being left behind, and I'm grateful for that. But that is a different kind of. That's not being a control freak. It's just somebody who wants to hold me in their arms and you know, help me to continue my work, but not to the point where, because I am somebody who will, once I'm in work mode, I do so much, and then it's like I hit a wall, and I'm like, I can't do all this, and this is too much, you know. And I blow myself out all the time, so I really do have to rein myself in when it comes to doing things each day. And the one way I have dealt with it is by not doing so much a day. You know, it's when it comes to writing, it's quality over quantity, you know. But I like to be in charge of my work, but not over controlling of it, because I do like it when I get feedback or somebody says, oh, perhaps you know, have you thought of doing this, doing that, and that I love. I just don't like it. People say, right, you know, it's 9 o'clock, I want you to get out of bed. No, I'm not that sort of person. I decide when I get out of bed. I decide when I want to eat. I decide when I want to have a cup of tea, and I don't like that to be decided for me. You know, I don't mind saying, like, you know, I've got a person in my life now who is the total opposite of that. They are just somebody who is very motivating, and it's not saying to you, it's just, you've done quite a bit now, take a break, and that I love. And there's a difference. That's not being a control freak, that's somebody who's caring for you. And you don't have to be a control freak to show that you care about somebody. As soon as I feel like I'm being suffocated, it just makes me want to take a leap and run off somewhere. And I've got to say, seeing, you know, certain people who, you know, go on like a control rampage, how it can demolish something or someone, and I just see it as a very negative thing. Now, I read a book by Grant Cardone, who I love the books. I love his video content, and he's got, you know, he has got an empire that he created, you know, from scratch on his own. And he's got a lovely wife called Elena, who again is a successful entrepreneur in herself. And he talks about in his book, Sold or to be sold to, it's called, the book. And he says about, you know, being a control freak. And he says, you know, it's good to be in control. And that part of me, I do believe, yes, I do, because he's obviously, you know, built up his life, you know, from having zero to, you know, being a millionaire. And I love hearing stories like that. But I don't see him as someone who is over controlling. He's just someone who likes to take charge of his own welfare, and, you know, and that's why, you know, I don't think that being a control freak is something to feel you have to be in order to be in charge of things in your life. Because like my son, I am very, very laid back with Henry, more than what I realise, because yes, it's good for them to learn and to do learning activities and like that, you know, because he has come on so well. You know, he's writing now, which he had no interest in whatsoever. But I just let him be a kid, you know, at the same time, and I do think that's important. So, and I made up my mind, you know, a while back that I wasn't going to be an over-controlling parent, because I think that can suffocate a child and make them rebel, because I was that child, you know. I'm very rebellious at times, because it's because I had to be in charge of my own destiny, as much as I like people to help, as much as I embrace people in helping me to do that. But, you know, I do think that, you know, there's being in charge is different to controlling. Controlling for me is something that says, right, you got to do this, do that. By 9 o'clock, you got to do, you know, have your lunch at say 12. You know, I want you to, you know, stop everything you're doing, make a cup of tea. And then no, I like to go with the flow. And, you know, but I don't mind someone saying, right, should we take a break now? And yeah, okay, you know what I mean? But being in charge is basically saying, right, what blogs do I want to do today? What blogs are due out today? And what can I get done today? You know, what is important to me today? And I think that is more important than feeling like you have to control everything around you, and you can't, you know, you should never force people into doing something if they are, you know, not comfortable in doing that, or, you know, that, you know, they just need a bit of time to, you know, be in charge of themselves, you know. And that's why I'm so glad that I'm now working for myself, because and, you know, also I'm going to be working with my new love soon, and he has been a complete and utter rock for me. And you know, I wasn't being believed at one point that I had met somebody else, but I have, and I'm very happy, and I'm hoping to see him soon. Obviously, because of COVID and lockdown, I haven't been able to, but hopefully it's going to happen, and I'm so looking forward to it. Because I think it's because I've been around a lot of negative control freaks, you know, and I understand that I'm contradicting myself. I'm just trying to, you know, understand, you know, is it good to be a control freak? What I'm feeling now is no, because I've seen the negative side of it in my life. So I'm in some way of, you know, I think that being in charge is better than being in control all the time, you know. Because sometimes it's good not to know what's going to come next, or not to know. I'm not one of these people who believes I know everything under the sun, because I don't. And I'm not going to pretend to know everything in the world. You know, I am full of information. You know, someone that one of the places that I'm like a robot, really, or a computer, because I do store information in my head, and I just, you know, I'm like a walking archive sometimes. But you know, I think it's good to not be in control. You know, I think being in charge is better than being in control, because when you're in charge, you're more, because being in control for me is like a restriction, but being in charge is more a long-term strategy, which can be flexible. So, you know, it's embracing other people's opinions, other people's help and advice. And so I don't think, for me currently, believe that being a control freak is a good thing. And you can still be in charge. I mean, there was a time when my mum and dad got divorced, and at first I kind of kept myself away from it, because I didn't want to face it at first, but I knew it was coming. I knew a long time ago that was going to happen, and when it did, it was like, okay, I just need to get out, and I was going out a lot, I was drinking a lot, I was out 5, 6, 7 days a week, I was going to rugby, so I couldn't deal with it. But then at some point I knew I would have to, and I didn't want to take sides, because marriages do break down. As much as we try and, as much as we at first think they're, it's going to be, everlasting, and it, the way the world is now and the way my life has changed, and that hasn't been the case, because I realised that I wasn't with the right person, and that's no offence to them. It's just, I just knew that we were very different. He sort of things very different to me, and we just weren't. We were more like roommates, sharing the same roof, and as far as I'm concerned, we had gone as far as we could go with it, and so I was ready to move on. And I think COVID, in one respect, has helped me with that, and made me realise that, okay, I wanted to now. I'm now in the mindset now that I'm ready to move on from here, and I know it's going to happen. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to having a new beginning, a new start. And like I say, someone else is helping me to do that, and I'm so grateful for that, because it's nice to not have to be in control all the time, or it's okay to be in charge but not in control. I don't want to be in control of everything under the sun, and I don't want to be seen as a control freak, because I just see it as a negative thing rather than a positive thing. So yes, that's my topic from a life coaching program, because you can still be in charge of something without being without feeling you have to be in control of everything, because it's good to have things that you don't know, because then you embrace new knowledge each day, and that's how I see it. So thank you for watching. I will do more videos like this, and if there's a topic that regarding regarding life coaching that I haven't talked about so far, then please let me know, and I'll be happy to talk about it. So have a great weekend. My weekend chat will be up tomorrow, so I'll be doing that. I'm going to try and get as many blogs done now, because now if I don't do any blogs or do my usual week worth of blogs, so I'm doing my weekly blogs that I'm doing. It's because I like to, because I write books as well. I like to have some time just working on my book. So next week, that's what I'll be doing. So if you don't see that many blogs from me next week, then fear not, I'll be back next week. But I'm going to see how much I see, because I might pre-write some blogs for next week. But if I don't, then fear not, I will be back. So it's just that, So anyway, thanks for watching, and thank you so far for those who've followed me and supported me. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.